Hello everyone, and welcome to my The Bold and the Beautiful official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful indicate that with Xander Avant back in town, Thomas Forrester will be under additional strain. John Finn Finnegan was informed by Xander about Emma Barber's passing and how he holds Thomas accountable for it. Finn is now unable to let it go, and it appears that Xander is also unwilling to back down. Xander will return to The Walking Dead during the week of January 8 to 12. He will reassure Finn once more that Thomas is guilty. It is feasible that Finn may reach out to Xander and request permission to speak with him again. However, if Xander finds a new physician at the hospital, Finn could run into him there. In any case, according to B&B spoilers, Finn will have another chance to question Xander in an effort to learn a bit more about the circumstances. Naturally, Steffy Forrester believes that Xander is a bitter intern with a grudge. Steffy feels that because Xander and Emma were close, he's searching for someone to blame, and given the events of the past, Thomas is a prime candidate. But Steffy has insisted that Emma's vehicle tragedy was just an unfortunate accident. Given that the police's investigation supported that theory, it's understandable why Steffy is standing up for Thomas. Conversely, Xander will inform Finn that the police made a mistake. Xander essentially asserts that Thomas is and always will be a monster when Finn presses him about Emma's destiny. Finn may acknowledge that now that Hope Logan has moved past her past with Thomas and pursued a love relationship with him, he worries for her. That information could drive Xander insane and make him worry for Hope's security as well. Xander may counter that Thomas is never more dangerous than when Hope plays a part in his fixation. Eventually, Finn will tell Steffy about his worries again and urge her to speak with Thomas about what actually transpired that evening. Finn will encourage Steffy to insist on the complete truth since he won't believe they're hearing the whole tale. It appears that Steffy will encourage Thomas to tell her his complete account of what happened, even if she won't be as strict as Finn. Just how much of Thomas's confession from the night of the disaster will be revealed during their passionate conversation? Will Steffy's perspective shift after hearing Thomas's? Stay tuned for updates on Thomas' viewpoint as spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that some unexpected occurrences are coming. The Friday, January 8 spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful tease that Steffy Forrester informed Thomas Forrester about Xander Avant turning up as John Finn Finnegan's patient. Steffy instructed Finn to stop bringing up the accusation that Thomas was to blame for Emma Barber's gory conclusion, but she stood by Thomas and gave him assurances. Despite Thomas's significant errors, Steffy was aware that Emma's death was an unfortunate accident and not her brother's fault. Hope Logan questioned why Xander was causing trouble once more in Finn's office, so Finn entertained the idea that Xander could be telling the truth. Hope contended that even though Xander brought his hypothesis to the police, Thomas was exonerated. Nevertheless, Finn was concerned since he thought Hope deserved better and cared for her. Finn praised Hope's values and accomplishments before saying that she wasn't the right person for this detour to Thomas. Hope emphasized that, contrary to Finn's belief, she wasn't merely some model of virtue from Hope for the future. Hope talked about how Thomas reminded her that she was also a woman when Thomas appeared outside the door and listened. Hope seemed to Finn to be rebelling against the stereotypical virtuous girl and all that had transpired with Liam Spencer. Finn thought Thomas was only giving Hope what she wanted to hear about him. Finn said that Thomas was dangerous and pushed Hope to go after, stating that Thomas could be to blame for Emma's unfortunate outcome. After Hope departed, Thomas approached Finn about the overheard exchange. Thomas threatened that no one would stand in their way after he vowed he would never hurt Hope. Ridge Forrester, who was still worried about Eric Forrester's recuperation, and if he would remain the same guy, was soothed by Carter Walton and Brooke Logan back at Forrester Creations. The conversation turned to Thomas, at which point Carter left Ridge alone to talk to Brooke. Ridge believed that because Thomas and Hope were adults, they should be allowed to date if that was what they want. It wasn't that easy for Brooke, who questioned whether Ridge truly thought she would set aside all of her concerns in light of what Thomas had done in the past. Ridge mentioned that Thomas had been acting well lately. After referring to Thomas as a transformed individual, Ridge maintained that his son was suitable for Hope. Following some tender moments between them, Ridge requested Brooke to consider what he had said. She assured him that she would and gave him a hug. Hope returned to the design studio in search of Thomas, but instead she saw Steffy. Hope then acknowledged that Finn had called to ask about her connection with Thomas. Hope informed Steffy that she didn't think Xander's story was credible after bringing it up. That was good to hear, and Steffy said that Thomas would need someone to confide in if these unfounded charges were made public. Hope remembered Thomas proposing, and she appeared thoughtful as Steffy pressed her to be completely in or completely out. Steffy believed that Thomas deserved support from someone after all the work he had put into improving himself. Therefore, she suggested he needed someone who would be there for him. On Friday's B&B episode, Thomas pretended to be in good standing and not want any trouble when he was back in Finn's office. After Thomas cautioned Finn against interfering with Hope's relationship, Finn perceived it as a threat. Finn angrily declared Thomas to be dangerous and pushed Thomas to tell what had transpired with Emma that evening. Thomas, however, cautioned Finn not to meddle in his family's affairs or his life with Hope. In a mocking question, Finn questioned whether Thomas would also drive him off a cliff and pondered what he would do if he didn't listen. Finn saw straight through Thomas and realized he was a nasty man, even if everyone else had fallen for his new and improved act. Finn swore that Thomas would never be with Hope as long as he lived. Keep checking back for updates on all the mayhem that's developing, since spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that Thomas and Finn's quarrel will cause additional issues. Fans of Bold and Beautiful are quick to spot a red flag, so when Finn decided to do something after talking to Steffy about Xander Avant's charges against Thomas, viewers took to social media to voice their concerns. They are not incorrect. This suggests that they are about to enter a new phase in their relationship. When Steffy arrived at Finn's office, she was taken aback to learn that he had met Xander, and that the young guy was accusing her brother Thomas of killing Emma Barber. Steffy informed her husband that Xander detested Thomas, and that the police had determined that Emma's death was an accident, but she was ill-prepared and hesitant to relive the terrible times when Thomas became engaged with the baby switch. Once her brother was shown to be not at fault, Finn's distraught wife begged him to forget it. However, Finn's thunderclad-like look indicated that he wasn't likely to accomplish that. Thus, it wasn't entirely unexpected when Hope appeared after getting a text from him. Then, Dr. Fing Medicine Man informed Hope that someone had gone to his office accusing Thomas of killing a young woman, and that he was quite worried for Hope's welfare. It was almost the exact opposite of quitting it, as his wife had asked. Fans responded quickly. Yes, fans of Bold and Beautiful are aware that his actions would have repercussions, but considering the complex and protracted rivalry between Steffy and Hope, those consequences could turn out to be far worse than he could have ever imagined. Finn made two errors in this instance. First, he is making unfounded claims about the brother of his wife that may jeopardize their relationship and his ability to improve his mental health. Even worse, he's doing it on purpose now that Steffy has explicitly requested him not to go through with it. Secondly, by rushing to Hope's aid, Finn runs the risk of reopening Steffy's previous trauma caused by Liam. The worst mistake her partner could make is probably telling Hope about Steffy behind her back, of all people. It will seem like a betrayal, but a very sly one because Logan is involved. Finn is a well-educated man, but he did not consider the consequences well, and they would most likely change his life in the long term. Hope will consistently turn to Finn as a confidant if this plants a seed in her and she begins to see Thomas in a different way. When Steffy was away, Bold and Beautiful, and she had a chat about Thomas at the Cliff home, which established this dynamic between them. With Hope in Finn's arms, everything was over. It would be an understatement to suggest that this will not be good for Sin's marriage. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.